Well, I don't just want to begin these episodes with multiple cliches, but football really is the game where the hope kills you, isn't it? Because just as we'd resigned ourselves to not being in a title race, we seem to have found ourselves back in one. Yes, very much as third favourites in a three horse race, but both Ajax and Feyenoord were held to draws last weekend, and as we won, albeit the easiest of our remaining games, we're now back within 2 points at the top of the table. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 13 of the Coach's Head with me, Daniel. This alternate head coach universe is going to be an interesting one for the next two games because after facing Heerenveen, who obviously beat us in the European playoffs last year, and PC Zwolle, who are in a fight for one this year, we have got ourselves an opportunity of potentially a title, potentially second place, or third, but either way, guaranteed European football next year. Will the board then back us, give us an opportunity, or are they going to take the chance to cash in on what has been an overachieving squad? If you want to find out with me and you're looking forward to it, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. We've got two games, a season review, and a budget announcement to come. So let's go and crack straight on with it by having a look at what happened in the one game off camera since you were last here. And to be honest, it was a pretty poor performance again, but we were playing a worse side, which is why we got away with it. A 2-0 win against Groningen from our first two shots on target. Jamal Gonzaga turned up, but we also found a new hero because I thought, well, with the title race over, I'm not going to go mad, but I'll bring in a couple of youngsters to the first team. Torbed started at right back, was really good, got an assist, got involved a lot. The other assist, though, came from a debutant because there was a player in the 18s who had been really impressing. He'd been promoted to the reserves earlier in the season, and he's now been promoted again, albeit only because of the injuries to Boussaid and then to Nigel Thomas. We gave a chance to John Conte, who of his own right was the next best at 2.5 star, had a real shot of improvement in the last few weeks, was training excellently, and I went, let's give him a go. And I think we might have found the latest star of the academy because at 18, 2.5 ability, 5-star potential, massive determination. And it is easy when you're in these types of saves to forget about the academy and forget about the next generation. But we might have just stumbled on a superstar there. Maybe not as much of a project player as Torbed was, but definitely ready to compete. And he will, I can confirm now, he'll be starting again today. So let's go and get through to the fixtures as we begin a big double header. We need to see what's happening across the rest of the division though, because Ajax and Feyenoord, unfortunately for us, both have home bankers here, no away games for them. Ajax against 10th place FC Emmen and Feyenoord against 14th place Volendam. It should be 3 points for both of them, let's be honest. So for us, after a very tough trip to Heerenveen, it'll just be about whether it's still intact. But having lost to them 3 times last year, including those 2 brutal European playoffs, it's just nice to be competing with them now and not worrying about them in terms of league position because European football is guaranteed. PSV and AZ Alkmaar really dropping off this year, which has helped us hugely. But let's have a look at what we can put out for this one, because there are a few decisions to be made. Holding midfield is one we've got to decide on, because Lachkar and Nokvarsen are close, but I'm going to go for the other two. Gonzaga's obviously back in form. Beck's not playing well, but I'm going to stick with him. Sinjago is doing well in defence again. I did play Van Berkel last time, but Dokic comes back in at left back. Then the two youngsters, Torbed is starting. Denzel Hall's fit enough for the bench, but not really to start. So Torbed, the man who comes in there. And we've also got Conte on the left wing. I'm sticking with Bajrami up front. He's not been great in recent weeks, though. So let's go and get through to the first of today's doubleheader and see if this side can deliver the goods. Tommy Sinjago is struggling for sharpness, but it doesn't matter. We've got an opportunity. Heerenveen away from home, a side we know have got quality. There's good players in the team. It's a much younger team than most of them in the division. And they've got some quality on the bench too, which does make it tough. But they've got a few youngsters in there. It's not been their best season. And they're going to have to fight hard if they want Europe via the playoffs. They're not guaranteed the top 8 yet. But they've been done a favour by Ajax winning the Dutch Cup. So let's get into the first half. Heerenveen away. And hope the young boys can deliver again. They're fearless from what we saw last weekend. Well, that didn't take long, did it? 10 minutes gone, Feyenoord 2-0 up, Ajax 1-0 up. And I think any of that little bit of hope that was there has gone now, as is it been proven by Heerenveen on the attack early, though Tobias Becker's nicked it from a poor square pass, breaks away down the right with 2 or 3 in support, goes back inside to Rosier, and now Beck again. Would be a lovely time for him to turn up. This is magic. Tobias Beck. Oh, great save. Wonderful outside the finish effort. And a brilliant run after what has been a poor 3 or 4 matches for him. It's out for a corner kick, which he will take. And that's been part of his downfall, not being in the box for them. Bajrami loses out in the air. It's wide to Conte. And it peters out. But for now, we're playing well. We've just got to deal with a long throw. Oh, you're joking. You're not giving a penalty for that, are you? Are you really giving a penalty for that? The referee's going to the screen. He might want to decide it the other way. He has given it. He has given it. After the last moment against Utrecht, it looked like the referee was on our side. This time we've got a referee against us. It's in. It's 1-0 to Heerenveen. I'm not sure that's a foul. I'm looking forward to the new match animation engine to see if we can actually tell when a foul in the box is a foul or not. But with 15 gone, we're 1-0 down, and Heerenveen are doing what they do best against us yet again, sneaking a way through. The morale's on the floor. We've got to encourage them. You're up in 3rd place. You're having a party. Enjoy yourself, lads, eh? Doesn't look like the big players are doing quite so well. The youngsters definitely not as fearless today. Conte's been the worst on the pitch. And with Ajax and Feyenoord both 3-0 up, I think we can just start to worry about enjoying the game again now. Tobias Beck with a free kick just over. And will these lads finally cheer up, because there's no pressure on this game. Yes, it's lovely for the youngsters to get a run, but at least go and express yourselves like you did last week. Heerenveen 1 up. We've had more of the shots, but we just lost it after that penalty. We've not had quite the same. We're going to tell the lads to do a bit more. We've got most of them motivated. But I am still a little bit worried about how quickly the morale drops in this team. It's something that doesn't make sense for where we are. But you can see we're absolutely plastering them on the stats. We've just not got the quality to show. So with just over an hour gone, this time I don't think Conte will get 90 minutes. He's going to come off and he's going to be replaced, as is Bajrami up front. How many of that 4 can we replace? We've got Grudem as well. Gonzaga was good last time, but he's not turned up today, so we'll get him off as well. Santiago can have a rest for Douglas Mendes. And then Lachkar will be the last one in place of Hyraläinen. 5 substitutes made. We'll do them all at once. We'll leave Denzel Hall. There's no point risking him here. Let's just leave it at that. 62 on the clock, 1-0 down. And we're opting for fresh legs rather than quality to try and save us in this one. Ajax 6-1 up, Feyenoord 3-0 up. I think it's fair to say that we're not winning a title regardless. Well, 10 minutes to go. We're having nothing. So I might as well go attacking. I might as well enjoy it. Let's give them one more shot of encouragement. And let's just see if we get a reaction. Feyenoord have got a 4th. I don't know what it is away at Heerenveen. They always do this to us. They did it in a European playoff. They've done it last season. They've done it in this one. And unfortunately, it's a bit of a whimper, that defeat, isn't it? They had 1 shot on target and scored it. It was a penalty, a dubious one at that. We've dominated the game. We've had more shots on goal, more expected goals and more possession, and more set pieces, but we've made nothing of it. Disappointing, that one. Our strikers have hit form or poor form at the wrong time, and a creative spark behind them just isn't there because Boussaid and Thomas are both injured. So unfortunately, the title race is officially over, and now we've got to make sure we finish above Utrecht, and to do that, we need a point on the final day. Let's go and see if we can get it. Well, it is fitness test time ahead of the final day of the season, and while the 2 players that could come back in for the youngsters are now fit, they're both not really fully fit, so we're going to leave them on the bench and maybe just give them a little swan song or a little appearance, because we don't know who the director of football is going to try and sell every summer or be forced to. Feyenoord and Ajax are going out head-to-head for the title. At the moment, they're separated by a pretty big goal difference, so unless Ajax drop points at Sparta Rotterdam, you would expect they're going to be the champions. Feyenoord have a tough game at Utrecht, but that might be useful for us because if they can win that, we don't have to worry about losing 3rd place. Let's get through to our game now at home to PEC Zwolle. And despite the frustration, it was a decent performance last time. So I think I'm going to stick with the same 11. You can see Zinjago's getting fitter. The only thing I'm questioning is, do I bring in Pratigin up front? It's probably Bajrami's last game for the club. And I think he is the better of the two, but at the moment, just not in form. It's a frustrating one. I'm going to warn him. We're going to criticise him for not scoring. And hopefully we'll get a response to that. But Thomas will be back on the bench for Razak. Minder and him, both off in the summer. They'll miss out. This is the 11 we've gone for in full. And it's exactly the same that played last weekend. Let's hope we get the response we want. We can finish the season with optimism and guaranteed European football. Well, it's 6 changes for our visitors today, which I don't really understand because they're in 9th place. And if they win this one, they could go up to 8th and sneak into the European places playoff, as we did on the final day last year. So I'm a bit surprised by the selection. There's a few higher numbers in there, but it might aid us. Remember, we just need a point and 3rd is guaranteed, regardless of what happens elsewhere. We should get it anyway. You'd expect Feyenoord to beat Utrecht, but we've got to do our job. And with a couple of youngsters in a team, that would be brilliant. The goalkeeper is coming on leaps and bounds. And you look at this year, even aside from the brilliant loan signings from the director of football, we have taken some players to the next level. Torbed's getting there. We've replaced the goalkeeper with the younger one at the club. We're pushing this team on as Bajrami. The chat almost worked instantly. Tipped away for a corner. We deserve the lead there. We've started this game really well. Hyralinen's playing well. He's 6'6", but not getting on the end of those corners just yet as Bajrami misses his header. And it's away as far as Conte on the left-hand side. Had a good impact in his first game. Not as good the second, but maybe home comforts will help him here. Mulder claims his cross pretty easily. With 10 gone, it's still 0-0. Ajax winning 2-0. They're going to be winning the title. That might worry us because will Feyenoord just drop off a little now? Quarter of the game gone. We're still yet to have a shot on target. Let's see how this one goes as Dokic has it on the left. Why is Torbed so unhappy? His morale's just sunk to the floor. As Ermin gets it wide to Conte, running at the defence. Loses it, but it goes straight to Dokic. Hyralinен finds Gonzaga. Good ball out to Torbed. Can he make the impact? Torbed in. Oh, he goes for goal. Could have laid it off for the pass. We probably have to forgive him. But it would have been lovely if he'd got one. Feyenoord have gone one up at Utrecht. Great for the title race and great for us, because Utrecht will stay 3 points behind and it's now 2. We can relax here, guys. Torbed plays into Rosier. It is going to be a 3rd place finish after sneaking up to 7th or 8th last year. It's some effort, isn't it? Bajrami's in and he's finished with a goal as well. He's deserved that. He deserved to get to double figures. A really good loan signing from the director of football. And to be honest with you, the likes of him and Beck in the holding role, Hyralinen, I'd love to see them stay. It's not going to happen. But they've been great players for us. We're 1-0 up at the break. We've done really well. And the young players are having an impact here. Don't know why the goalkeeper's so nervous. I've got faith in you. Good to see him inspired. Gonzaga's the man of the match again at the moment. That's 2 in a row at home. But crucially, a 3rd place finish is some effort from this team. It's almost been a dream the way we've performed since we've got here. We've just found a way to make this team hard to beat. As Conte, it goes off Bajrami, but it's an assist for him anyway. Bajrami gets his 2nd. Conte deserved it. But that's a lovely combo for us. We're sending him off in style, and a new era is being donned by a new left winger who's been magnificent. As it's into the box again, promoting youth will leave a legacy for me after as well. As Rosier plays inside to Hyralinen, wide to Tobias Beck. It would be lovely to get him one. He's hit the post, but Bajrami's in for a hat-trick. It falls for Gonzaga, who scores instead. A good finish to the season for him. Had a much better year after that injury-laden second half of last season. And with an hour gone, it couldn't have gone much better, could it? Tobias Beck into Bajrami, headed over by Rosier. Actually, it's tipped away. We're still going. Eventually, it's offside. What a magnificent performance. We're going to leave it at that. But we will make one change now, or maybe 2. Torbed's on a yellow, so let's bring back Denzel Hall. He deserves a run out. We're going to take Tobias Beck off on the right for Nigel Thomas. We're going to bring Lachkar on for Rosier, who's been a big part of the season. I think it will just be those 3 for now. I do want to get Pratashin on because I feel like he deserves minutes in case he leaves this summer. He's been great for me. But I want Bajrami to get a hat-trick first. Can he do it? No evidence to suggest it since he's been here. As Hall gets the ball on the right, intercepted. Little bit of rustiness in his play there. But it won't cost us in this game as Sinjago keeps it in. Finds Denzel Hall again, and now Lachkar. Inside to Hyralinen. Good January addition, he's been on loan. Another I assume we won't keep, though. Conte looking for the defence splitting ball, almost reached Bajrami. But now it's a long ball forward by the opposition. And Gertsen, that is abysmal. Oh, Gertsen, what are you doing? Can I just say, thank God we were 3-0 up, because I would be livid otherwise at a goal like that. I wondered why they were showing it with the keeper just flying out to a long ball. With 15 to go. Again, Conte struggling for fitness, high relying and the same. We might have to make a couple of square pegs in round hole changes in a minute. As Nigel Thomas breaks away to Gonzaga. Bajrami's in behind. Was he onside? Chance for the hat-trick. It's saved. It should have been scored. Let's just see out the corner. And then we'll make the last two. It will definitely be high relying for Nockvarsen. I don't know about the last one. Thomas back to the edge. That's poor. Really, really poor. Gonzaga wins it back though. A space to run into. Finds Santiago who chips it wide. Let's just get it done. High Reliant off. Nockvarsen on. I want to get Van Berkel on ideally because he's an important part of this squad. I'm going to have to go for Pratagin. I'm going to bring him on for Gonzaga, who I don't want to risk any injury to whatsoever. Can either of them play a bit deeper? Not really. So what we'll do, I might just play Bajrami that bit deeper. I mean, it's not going to matter that much, is it? We'll put him in behind as a shadow striker. And we'll have a little bit of a laugh. What could possibly go wrong? We've got 10 minutes to go. We're 3-1 up. The season's done. His loan ends in 10 minutes. Both of the top sides are winning comfortably. And we're going to be third place as Nigel Thomas has got the corner to the back post. Santiago's up there. Headed away as far as Nockvarsen. Go on, give us one last treat for the season, will ya? Santiago back to Lachkar. Santiago again. Man over on the left-hand side if he can find him, but looks forward to Thomas. And now it's Erman. We're toying with them a bit. Dokic on the left wing. Chance to carry it forward. I would assume we're finally going to lose him this summer. As Nockvarsen gets towards the byline. Back to Dokic. Chance to cross, but he finds Lachkar. Into Thomas. Oh, great move. And almost a goal to finish it. 4 minutes added on. It is still 3-1 at the moment. Ajax are going to be champions. Feyenoord are going to be second. But Willem II are going to finish in third. And that is a remarkable effort to finish the season. A brilliant campaign in third place after what's been a meteoric rise since we joined. They were 15th or 16th when we came to the club. We've picked up points. We got them in the top half. And we got them in the European Places playoff. This year, we can sit and watch those comfortably because we've got Europa League football. Let's get the confirmations. 6.5 million in. A brilliant win. Don't know what Aaron Winter's complaining about. Gonzaga, man of the match again, despite the fact not actually training that well recently. It's starting to decline in certain areas. So we'll deal with the post-match press conference. We'll wait for the season review messages. Most importantly, we'll wait for our budget news. The message we've all been waiting for. The rest of the season review stuff will follow. But for now, the board have set their initial budgets. And I'm a little bit concerned about them because this season, the negative transfer model got out of hand. We worked so hard to sell people building up to January. The director of football, I mean by that. I haven't done anything. But then when we got there and we had to reassess where we were expecting to finish this year, we suddenly found they chopped another 2 million onto it again. So it was up to 2.5 negative. If we don't have a positive transfer budget going into Europe, we're going to get caned because we're going to have to give one up. So I really hope that they've just seen a bit of light here, or at least made it virtually zero so we can sell one player and then go. Please just give me some good news, or at least a big increase on the wage budget that we still can't spend. Let's see what the board's initial budgets are. It's a positive budget. We've finally got a positive budget. It's taken nearly 2 years at Willem II, but the director of football has got £11 million to spend and a wage budget of 325, which is about where it was before, to be fair. That's no real change. However, that does mean something big because, of course, for those of you that have been here before, you know we've got no say in transfer staffing and contracts. However, we did mention that all of these loan players he bought in, he had future fees for. He'd negotiated them really well. The January one was a bit more expensive at 3.1, but Tobias Beck had a 1 million clause. I remember that. Bajrami's was pretty low, 300 grand. He also had one for Ganiu and for Mendes, though I'm not sure they'll get really pushed, as you can see. Mendes 950 grand. Ganiu's was 2.5. it was. I mean, that one's never happening, is it? There were some real positive players and real positive performers. I wonder if the Tobias Beck deal gets done. I wonder if Badrami is here to stay. But more importantly, no waiting to sell. The director of football, who has been scouting brilliant players for months and months and months, can finally go and look at signing some of them. This is a time to be very excited at Willem II. If it was going to be negative again, I was almost thinking of going, but I want to see what he's doing now. The director of football, you have got an absolute bounty to work with. You've worked hard, you've earned this. Now don't waste it. Don't get complacent. Let's get through to the end of season messages. But I'm suddenly, as I'm sure you can tell, a little more optimistic about next season. Well, time to review all the end of season messages and see what is expected next year of Willem II with the addition of European football. We've got a recorded top pass finish, which I would expect to do, hopefully. Make the most set pieces, etc. We're still going through all of that. We've still got the battle between the fans wanting to play attacking football and the board wanting to play defensively solid football. At the moment, we are sort of appeasing both at different times of the season. We've got to work within the wage budget. The negative transfer budget business model does seem to have set itself for now. And look at these informational objectives. Build a new stadium in progress. We're filling ours pretty much every week within a couple of hundred. And now there's European football too. Maybe this is going to be the start of a new dawn for Willem II. Next season, finish in the top half, reach the Europa League proper. I have no idea when we come in. We'll find out at the start of the new season in a transfer special. But before that, the squad dynamics are looking brilliant. We've got to be careful with which players are leaving the club this summer because Nicolas Rossi has already been agreed to be sold because it said he was looking for a new challenge at the end of the year. He's now the backup keeper. Pratigin's very old, and I would imagine he's going to start popping up in those backroom advice meetings as a possible to sell. And obviously Boussaid is out injured for the long term now. That's three really key players in this hierarchy. Dokic has been wanted and flirted with by many players in recent years. We could lose a lot of the most important members of the squad. And that is, as we know, a huge part of Football Manager success. So that's something I'm maybe a little bit worried about for next year. But I've got to trust this director of football. When he's only had a loan budget, he's done unbelievably well. When he's had such a restriction and such a limited pool to work from, he's given us a brilliant squad that almost achieved the unthinkable. So maybe on this occasion, we've got to back him and just hope he does well. I just hope nothing resets or changes during the year. I'm accepting the vision. I'm happy with where we are. And this squad, we have a look at bar the ones out of contract, which are basically just the loanies. We're in a really good position. We've got a fair few with only 1 year left on the deal and even 2 years, but most of them aren't the key players in the squad. Those ones that are starting every week at the moment, the first choice keeper, 2 of the back 4, the number 10 who's been starring in recent weeks. They've got 3 years remaining. The key players are largely tied down. And this fills me with real excitement for the coming years. Hopefully it's going to be an exciting summer. And I desperately hope that when we come back on Monday, we are looking forward to one hell of a summer transfer special, an exciting Europa campaign, and a bolstered squad that can maybe do special things for Willem II. If you did enjoy this one, a nice finish to the season against PEC Zwolle, a couple of youngsters getting a run, but also to exciting transfer news, then please do put a thumbs up on it. If you want to find out what the director of football does now he can spend for the first time at the club, then subscribe and turn that notification bell on. Generally, his signings have been excellent so far. I'm optimistic, but I never get carried away in FM. We've seen these all go very wrong before. Hopefully they won't this time, though. We've got plenty to come before we return on Monday. We're back tomorrow with Southend United. That playlist is up in the eye above. You can catch up with that so far. There's also links there to the Twitch channel where from Saturday, we're going to be doing Euro 2024 watch-alongs virtually every day during the group stages. Come and hang out, watch the football with me, get through some quizzes and games and fun stuff as well. It was great fun during the last Euros. Would be great to have you there again. We're also going to be doing plenty over on the podcast channel, daily shorts predictions, but also plenty more to come from the Championship managerial specials and special interviews. And there's also other playlists where we may have something a little special coming on Sunday. For now though, thank you very much for watching, for following my second year, but my first full season of Willem II. What a remarkable finish of 3rd place in the league. Can we maintain that top 4 finish next year whilst doing well in Europe? Well, that's going to be up to the director of football. He's got a budget for the first time. Now, will he spend it wisely? I'll see you Monday to find out.